It's all right, leave it going. It's all right if I leave it the candle on.
It's scented and it bothers.
Is it building? Okay. It's still going. See?
Magic's still there.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're here to introduce Matt Harmon. Yeah.
Hey, howdy.
Howdy.
Well,
I don't know what I can say about you. I do know a couple of things about you, but I can't talk about it.
all right. I like those kind of. That's all right.
We've had a beautiful synchronicity in our lives in that my stepson is Belgian, and he came to America for a visit and happened upon Matthew, who had been in Belgium. So we kind of built a little bit of a fun bridge there at one occasion when we were here in the Fort Collins area. We had come to bless the waters. And my stepson said of you that you should have been with us on that trip because while he enjoyed praying at every little trickle at the Continental Divide with Jamie Barbas and myself, he thought maybe you would have been great company then.
You've been good company too.
So without further ado, we need to hear more from Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
You betcha.
Thanks. Oh, that would be wonderful. Okay, Randy. Doesn't Randy mean a couple other things? Well, all right. Welcome back from lunch, everybody. I'm going to set this little thing down here after I take a swallow. Well, thanks for all you coming today. Matakiapi. My name is Napezio Mani Wishasha, man who walks with yellow hand. Also, my friends call me Big Bear. And some people around here know me as Matt. My wife calls me Matthew and all kinds of other things. Terms of endearment, you know. So, first of all, I wanted to say thank you, too, really, for allowing me to speak in front of you, because all of you are reminding me of who I am. You're all so beautiful, and you're all so unique in your expression of who you are, which in my heart says you're all divine. Whatever that means to you in your heart, to me it means beautiful and sacred and holy. And in the days that we've walked on this earth, we've learned much about our path and what feels good and what might not feel so good. So today we're going to talk about our sacred responsibilities and our teachings from the heart. And if you notice, there's been a theme of remembering and sacred responsibilities here at this conference. Years ago, my uncle at the time, it's now a sacred, the sacred man, Golden Eagle, Chief Golden Eagle, we did a ceremony. He said, now you're going to focus on your sacred responsibilities. And that was when my daughter's 14 down. That's when she was around 3. So since then, I've thought about it every day because I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what it meant. And I've got this part of me that can get a little too serious sometimes. So I lighten up. And so I sat with that. And then the name that was given in ceremony, a man who walks with yellow hand. And it brings you into your heart. And it humbles you in a lot too. And actually there's that boy who walks with yellow hand. So with that, it's pretty humble. And as you might know, the ego doesn't like humility and strength, but the spirit thrives on it. So, and there is true strength in the spirit. Years ago, when things were going on in my life, many changes were happening, and one particular one, years ago, I saw this woman, and she had her spark. I didn't know what it was called at the time, and it was a spark, and it was so dim in her heart. It was so very tiny. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I remembered it all those years. And then we started talking and connecting in ceremony, and they started to show me that everyone has a sacred flame inside themselves. Everyone has a spark, and some of it's bigger than others. So after remembering that spark, that one young woman, and how small it was, and how deep felt compassion I felt at the time, felt real sad for her, you know. And so I realized at the ceremony something was happening. And that spark in myself, that flame was getting bigger and brighter until it was engulfing me in its entirety. And then I started connecting with the Star and Allies conferences with all of you because you're my family. And I realized there's a greater purpose, a dharma. In the yogic ways, my wife's a yoga teacher. Her name's Laramie Kinney. She's beautiful. She's been a gift in my life. And to help, we have we're a purposeful couple walking in a dharmic road with each other. Sure, we have our own light and our own balance. She carries, like all the women out here, that beautiful vibration of the divine Mary Magdalene, the divine feminine, the divine ones that live in the holy ones of the sacred sisters, this divine essence of the rose, the sacred feminine, and also this one named Isis. When we first got together, she ended up getting the Isis tattoo intuitively. And then also there's that beautiful, I wanted to mention her because in yoga they have a word for your heart's purest desires, and it's called, it's beyond the ego, it's your spirit's heart desire that you bring into manifestation into a seed when you're born. And we have to nurture that seed. And as we nurture that seed and it grows, sure, it's got to pop out of its old shell, right? And, you know, not all seeds are planted in the spring, right? You're planting bulbs right now. And you nurture that seed in different ways through certain disciplines and certain feelings. One of those feelings is love. Certain areas also draw you and allow you to come further out of that seed. And perhaps you've gone through that dark soil. That's the earth or the cave within yourself, and you've grown towards that light. So in some of these places, these sacred places, these sacred caves, these sacred temples, these sacred places all over the world that your soul is drawn to go to, like my sister, who's done a great, beautiful gift for everybody, traveling over to these sacred sites with the beautiful essence of Mary Magdalene. And these holy ones, Yeshua, and all these ones, a lot of us lived back then. A lot of us are them, by the way. You feel that within your own heart and your being. So we learned that one of our sacred responsibilities is our own heart. Yet, as you know, as a friend of mine says, don't give your heart away. So I'm asking you, who's responsible for your heart? Who's responsible for your heart? You know, who is it? Is it that other person down the road that tells you you're doing all right in your life? Or is it that, because that can change. One day when my daughter was little, she said, "Dad, you're the best dad ever." Got to put you on the spot, kid. And then next day she said, "Dad, you're the worst dad ever." So anyway, so if we rely on those outside things for our heart and to nurture our seed, it's putting it outside of ourselves. And as we transcend that false small self of that we thought we were, and we branch out and grow into a new identity of who we are, then we grow. And how do we grow? We grow by cultivating and nurturing that seed, who we surround ourselves with, what feelings we share in our family. Do we pray in gratitude when the sun comes up? Do we say thank you to these holy ones that are here all the time helping us? They're here assisting us. They're here walking with us. This sacred old wisdom with this sacred vessel we know as the Grail, this holy Grail. We were down in a conference out down in, Carefree. I really like the name of that, Carefree. That was great. We went in and we were sitting in a lot of the cactus people looked like the Buddha. They sit there, and I love the Buddhist way too, because they talk about the Buddha seed, the Buddha within, the seed within, and then there's the Christ consciousness within. And the sacred fire is the old teachings of many of the indigenous cultures, that all the wisdom lives within the fire in the sacred tree of life. So the other day we were doing a session, this man came and we were doing a session. He said, I went into a journey and just do my best to be a hollow bone and get out of my own way, And you know how everything works out when you do that? And you're drawn to these sacred sites, and you sing these sacred tones, and these and you connect with the sacred vibration from these sacred places, and you're connecting with the spirit. Well, we're down in Carefree. I'm going to jump back. Well, the man in the session, he found himself in water, floating in water. And in many indigenous cultures, and many in the Holy Scriptures, it's known as Miniwichoni, the living waters. The living waters, they're in every one of us. And it's that sacred grail of life that my sister was sharing earlier about. As we connect with those living waters, are so sacred. Wow, it's really vibrating there. I stay. And then you have that essence of the rose in there. And so he found himself floating in the water. He was surrendering to that water. And then the tree people came, the sacred ones, to remind him of who he was. And they took him on a journey. Yeah, he won't be the same again. But yesterday is gone, right? We're here now. So today in the fall, we're planting new seeds. We're planting those bulbs that'll nurture and germinate to the winter and through these sacred times. So what you're remembering here in this conference, pay attention as we get close to the solstice and connecting to the ceremonies within yourself. So as we nurture those seeds, sometimes we're drawn to these sacred places, and this is one of them. Because all of us have come to help us remember who we are. And, so my dear, lovely wife, she reminds me of an energy, and the energy is called joy. And it's called presence. She reminds me of the way of the heart, too, like all the women here. And this Asha. And there's a name in yoga for the heart. All these masters, they put names. They studied this, wrote this stuff down for us. They helped us. And there's in yoga, how do you pronounce it? Well, Asha, but when it means unstuck. The heart chakra. Anahata means unstuck in your heart. So a lot of us are purifying those things around our heart. That flame is burning bright. It's purifying those things around your heart. What's one thing that melts your heart? A little baby, right? Or the children. And that grandma bakes you brownies and puts it in front of you. My wife makes great banana bread with chocolate chips and peanut butter frosting. Oh, it's so good. Woke up the other day. So I got a little bear in me. Actually, it's a big bear. It kept coming in the dreams. With all due respect, I have much to learn with them. It'd be nice if my brothers, my Lakota brothers and stuff lived right around the corner and go there and get in a ceremony with them. But they come through the dream state and they help me out. One day I was really worked up about physical things. One of my brothers came in dreams and said, "You're too much in your physical mind. Get into your spiritual mind." That's another thing that nurtures your flame, your spiritual mind. So we're here to breathe life into each other's fires. Yet, if no one else is responsible for our heart's fire, then who is? Who is responsible for that fire? Yourself. Grandma wisdom. Once you start remembering that, once you start that, you put in another piece of wood, And that's a sacred responsibility. A ceremony intending to your own fire. These teachings in the old ways here, my Lakota brothers and sisters and the people, all the elders who kept these ceremonies alive, they're helping generations throughout all our children. All the shifts you're making within yourself through your DNA are affecting your children's children, the earth, everything you're doing. So as my wife likes to say, put a gold star on your third eye or your heart. She likes to put one on my right butt cheek, and my left butt cheek. And she smiles, and I like that because it makes me feel fun. So I get a little too serious sometimes, so we got to lighten up anyway and do a little dance and shake a little groove. I got pants on. You can't see my gold stars. So anyway, So if we're responsible for our own heart, how do we breathe life into that? So we remember the ceremonies, remember the children, remember that love. And there's some energies that really complement this fire. And how do we learn that? Probably knowing at times what energies like lower that fire. So some of those energies that encourage that fire's growth is gratitude. Gratitude's a good one. And remembering we're all one, going in and praying and connecting to that essence of spirit and the oneness that we are. There's also that willingness to be. The Cherokee ways talk about the willingness to be. There's also an essence called compassion. There's a deep feeling. I knew what it felt like, but honestly, it took me a while to connect the dots with my mind and my heart. Like, this is what I'm feeling. Oh, compassion. And that sacred one, I want you to know, too, that the grandmothers, they have helped out a lot in my life, so I'm thank gratitude for all the women here. And all the roses that live within you, all the love that lives within you. I'm really grateful for all of you, and really feel like at this point in the game, there's a lot of relationships that are coming together to assist things on bigger levels, and I'm so grateful for the encouragement of love. For without the encouragement of love, the rose would fear to open. That's Rumi. I love him. You ever pick up any Rumi and read him? He brings you right home. He brings you home to your heart. That feeds the fire. So when these holy ones come, they come through the different nations, like this bear nation, or the eagle nation, or the buffalo nation. They come through the sacred waters, the living waters. They come through this vessel, this divine vessel that we know as the Grail. We're down at Carefree. We're sitting out there looking at the Buddha and within these plants that were there witnessing everything. And then we went out there and had an experience, because if you all know that sometimes at the conferences they alter you. But as Freddie Silva says, he's finally figured it out. This is quoting Freddie Silva. He said, "Oh yeah, you go before an altar, you're altered." Yeah, so you're altered. Thank you, Freddie. And yeah, I'm thinking about him too. So he's got some good stuff on the Templars and Mary Magdalene and sacred sites. Good stuff. And so it was altered, and it was out there, and this cactus opened up out there, and it showed that we were all that we were the Holy Grail. We are the Holy Grail. I mean, we are the Holy Grail. Opened up and saw this vessel, and this light went right into it, and it had this rose that went into it. And I remember sitting out there. And the interesting thing, the next thought was, why are they watering the grass out here? We're in the desert. But so it went from this profound deal and that's how it works sometimes. You know, your mind's like, oh, we are the Holy Grail. We are this Grail. As we watch the Spirit open up this plant, it changed right in front of my eyes. And then this light came down, and that rose was in there, and it filled it up, and they showed that we are the Grail. And that's part of our covenant within ourselves, to remember that. And let that grow. And then it's funny, and then you say, oh, all right, I'm hungry. I'm going to go get a cookie. Or, you know, we just kind of, as humans, we got to take it easy on ourselves, because this information comes in, it's got to process in that seed as we remember who we are, humbly so. So that bear nation came, and it reminds us of that sacred responsibility. The one thing that works, it's a big bear, and his paws are golden, and he touches the ground with golden paws. Oh yeah, and it helps ground that light out in a beautiful way. And also there's that divine masculine that walks with him too. Oh yeah, you know. And there's these golden rays that come down through him and remind us of our sacred responsibilities. So sometimes you might feel like that the 2 feet on the ground isn't enough, right? So you all have these ones that assist you. So you put those 4 feet on the ground and touch that earth with those nice quiet paws. Bears walk real soft. Oy, and they're real strong. Oy. And so remind ourselves to put all 4 feet on the ground, and also to spread your wings, because sometimes you got to get a new perspective, a higher perspective on what's going on in your life and what's going on with this. So there's also this beautiful energy, this golden rays, and sometimes they come in blue, and it's called the energy of truth. And it's one of your greatest allies. Because a lot of our healing's around misperceived things or misinterpreted things. Like the Native people, my brothers and sisters say, don't interpret your own dreams. Unless you had a glass of wine, then it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. So, because we can misinterpret it. And a lot of these things that have gone on within us as we're healing, we just misinterpreted something. We misinterpreted that we were unloved. We were misinterpreted as being unloved or unwanted, or that being ourselves wasn't okay. And it's interesting as we burn away these mistruths with the energy of truth, which is connected to the energy of love, which is connected to the energy of compassion, which is connected to the essence of Creator, God, Source, the Mother, the Rose. All these things are beautiful. And sometimes to know this, we have to still our mind. We have to still things out. Still things a bit. As you go into that drum changes your brain waves, brings you deeper, so you can hear, and your prayers can be heard. So when in the vibration of the drum and the sacred language that comes through so many tongues is very, very powerful to understand the sacred language and sacred tongue. So when they sing those songs, they're really important. And that drum helps us to hear the Spirit, hear our own hearts. So they're way up here, which we've all been there probably too much, more than we really like to be. It can kind of trick you up. So we remember to be in our heart, so we practice getting in the heart. And while we're healing, we're burning away impurities, burning away thoughts we had of ourselves that aren't in the higher vibrations of acceptance and love and compassion, and those vibrations are high. They feel good, joy, like willingness to be, like I mentioned earlier, and encouraging each other. It's flame through being together and praying together and encouraging each other and opening up to some beautiful hugs. Before we're getting to the conference here, I could feel my heart shedding some things needed to shed. But we're all shedding, We all had things that are on our heart. So, and it's all perfect too. Sometimes you could see me in the morning with my hair all sticking out real funny. My wife loves me just the same. And I love it too. My hair is all wild and everything, and that's good. Sometimes the way we look and appear to people, it's whatever. I can put on a cowboy outfit tomorrow and you might have a different impression of me. Maybe put on a robe and walk around like Jesus, and have that white robe on there. It might connect with you in a different way. So I like to say, people they can't put us in a box, Star Family. Throws people for a loop because we're not so concerned about image. That's not our main priority this time. It's not our main priority. Our main priority is these sacred responsibilities, right? So we recognize, if anything, we're feeding that seed this conference. We're feeding that within ourselves. We're feeding our spirit. My sister just came from across seas, and she brought this beautiful gift with these sacred vibrations for the people. She did that. Blessings to her. You know what? And you've done good things for the people. And you have. As we recognize each other, we recognize the divine in all things. Doesn't mean we understand all the time. There's moments when we get that clarity, that understanding. Because when we're trusting that knowing, that intuition, And another gift that comes along with this growth and purification is non-judgment. I don't know about you all, but that judgment comes up sometimes. That snake, that rattlesnake, comes up too, and it reminds us too of our dharmic path too, beyond our karmic path. When you get into your asha, your heart's desire, you're feeding your heart's fire through your asha, through your pure desire. And I don't know what that might look for each of you. Perhaps you're artist. Perhaps you're artist and you love to be with the art and express. Perhaps you're drawn to go to the sacred sites and pray and be. Perhaps you're drawn to work with the children. Perhaps you're drawn to go in the sacred temple of the mother, which is known as the Inipi, in these holy ways of the sweat lodge. Oy. But we need to keep ourselves healthy. We need to keep ourselves healthy with our energy and who we are. So what's that mean when we're hanging out with people? If it doesn't feel healthy, we can handle it for a little while. Sometimes the Spirit needs us to be there, but we need to have our spiritual family to keep ourselves healthy. We need to keep those grandchildren close to our hearts. We need to surround ourselves with people that feel good. And know, as we're purifying these old things, that it's okay for us to do that. It's okay for us to say no. Say, no, I don't really feel. And if you notice, a lot of times that gets taken care of anyway. I had a friend years ago that said, the lodge, the sacred lodge, and he said, it takes care of itself. It'll take care of itself. A lot of times we don't get our mind all involved, worked up in our little dramas. It takes care of itself. Yet if you notice, sometimes these conference things get stirred up a little bit inside. Well, they're burning out some other things too. So you can grow even more. Everything contracts and expands. Like a little chicken that's in an egg. Like before it pops out of that egg, what's it doing in there? It's getting bigger, and that shell is starting to expand a little bit, and then it breaks free. When a star is created and when it goes on, it's expanding and contracting, right? Well, there's so much symbolism in the sacred divine seed, the sacred divine egg of life, and the sacred circle and the drum, where all life has been created. And there's an energy called the Trinity. Many of us talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Yet there's this essence called the divine Trinity as well. That has to do with the Holy Grail too. See, within water, there's transformation, like our dear friend that's been mentioned, Dr. Emoto. So as we connect to these sacred vibrations in the rose, the waters within us are changing. The seed within us has this knowing, and perhaps that's what they mean with the covenant, with the Ark of the Covenant, with these sacred codes, these 13 codes in there. And that code, awakening that code within the seed. And perhaps that seed was programmed that during this time, after all these eclipses, this particular thing will begin to emerge. And you will have a Star Knowledge Conference in 11/11. And things will expand even more, watering your seed within yourself. As these vibrations of the 13 come to be recognized within the sacred seed that lives in all of you. Oy. So, we all been seeing the elk out here. Well, some of us got to hear them and stuff. And many people say they're matriarchal. They're matriarchal to women, that lead the herd. Well, I was watching them one day. Guess what? They work together. The male, the divine stag, the divine masculine, the sacred warrior, the sacred divine man, Jesus, Yeshua. Then there's the sacred divine feminine. Look, they're standing together, working together. Some good stuff. And the cow, elk, and the herd, she'll get everyone. She actually leads them to the next place. But the male, he'll come around, he'll nudge people. Get up, get up. And this one, he goes, "Ooh, you're cute." They do that in the fall. And and they carry that cosmic vibration of Christ consciousness. So I was talking to my sister before you allow me to get up here today, and we left this altar up here for you to still come up and share in this sacred water and commune with that. Seeing this, they give us these portals that we're all opening up, right? They're giving these portals within ourselves, known as chakras. And the ceremonies and these times when we're getting out of our own way, these chakras are opened up. We'll see these lower chakras. We love the higher ones. They feel really good, right? Your crown's open, The eye of God here, and it's open. The truth here is open. Forgiveness is here, and compassion is open. Everything you get the lower ones. Here's like self-acceptance and that warrior within you, and that esteem place, And also can have other stuff like the victim and things like that. Self-acceptance is here, all that. And a warrior, and this is honoring oneself. Honoring oneself. The second chakra is the Holy Communion. They do that in any recovering Catholics, communion. It's not the roots of it's not too bad. But known a lot of recovering Catholics. A lot of good Catholics out there too, so it's all good. However you find the divine God, your connection is good, but remember the gift of kindness and love. So there's that Holy Communion and that sacred honoring, like within oneself. That second chakra. A lot of people are living in those lower vibrations. Yet in the root chakra, there's the sacred vibration is oneness. It's tribal. It's tribal. Boom. Like there. It's tribal. You're connected. See that woman squatting like that to that. When you do that, you start connecting. The higher vibration is oneness. Your tribe. And one of the highest vibrations for feeding that fire is belonging. That's the other one, that root. It's belonging. You're feeling that inner sense of belonging. Because we're all one. We tricked ourselves into feeling we're separate from God. Boy, it feels lonely when you feel like you're not connected. It can mess with you a little bit. But you know what? It brought you home. Because you sought out that connection to feed that fire. So you're all so beautiful. Every one of you could be sharing this up here, and you all are, because we're all here together. So just really grateful. So remembering to connect with these ways too that feed your spirit, and one of them is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a beautiful essence. The forgiveness, it relinquishes things of blame. It gets you off the wheel of suffering. The wheel of suffering, which includes blame and shame and guilt. And it keeps you in this karmic wheel of suffering. Oy. So when you bring in that forgiveness too, it assists in bringing you into Dharma, into your sacred purpose, into your Asha's heart desire, into your spirit mind. When my brother came in the dreams, said, you're too much in the physical mind, get in the spiritual mind. I had myself worked up in a tizzy. Yet with the forgiveness, it's not that we did anything wrong. A lot of times we just misinterpreted something. Or something really did happen. Yet we got to let ourselves off the hook of blaming ourselves, everybody. What good are we to the earth if we're just being too hard on ourselves? You know what I mean? And open to receive that love too. Like, we got to say yes to it. Oh, no, I can handle it all myself. Do the trees pollinate all by themselves? The bees help them, right? Hummingbirds help them. I help them. I go pee on certain trees all the time. Nitrogen, man. So it's like we're all helping each other out. Interdependent. Yet as we nurture this relationship of harmony, and things feel good. They feel good. So it's like the Cherokee way, call this walk, this way of right relationship, the beauty walk, the beauty path. Oy. So we all got our work cut out for us too. So, boom. So one thing I really want everyone to remember is let yourself off the hook for bringing that essence of forgiveness and that energy of truth, and know you're worth it. This chakra right here too is worth. Third chakra. Remember, honoring oneself, respecting oneself. Geez, how do I learn to respect myself? By doing some things that weren't too damn respectful. And will I do it again? Probably, more than likely. I had a friend, his grandpa woke up every day to his wife and he said, forgive me, honey, for the things I'm about to do today. He said it every day. So we're all here to remember who we really are. And as we remember who we are, that forgiveness is a beautiful ally. And then that expression of just being who you are, you're also beautiful. And And I'm just so grateful for the messages. And there's been some really high vibrational messages around the Grail and remembering and sacred responsibilities. So if you just pause to ask yourself what those sacred responsibilities might mean to your spirit and your heart. And a lot of times what happens is things start to change. So your soul groups might change. Your friends might change. You know, your relationship with your work might change. But that's good change. Like the butterfly teaches. She teaches that. So another beautiful energy we have to rely on is trust. It's trust. And spontaneity, that spirit work. Because when the energy comes in, it's spontaneous when it's the spirit. How many wonderful things have happened in your life when you just made room for the spirit to take care of it? That's great. You know, you're like, this is how I love it. I love it. This is great. Spontaneous fulfillment of your Asha's desire. Just be open and say yes. So I'm going to sing. I'm going to wrap it up here in just a little bit. I want to give time just for a couple songs. I want to remind you too. You're welcome to come up. At least connect to that veil, that sacred vessel, that sacred cave, which the women are, and remembering to listen to your heart and to breathe your flame into your own heart, and help each other's hearts to breathe through good food, spiritual food, good stuff. So anyway, it's a little balance of humor and grounded good stuff. Thank you to Bear for walking with me. This staff right here, the children gifted this from my daughter's school a few years back. Went in there with the drum, and the drum took care of stuff. Went in there. And the kids are so beautiful. I love their innocence. Yet as we're on this path of innocence, the return to innocence, some people call it, that drum, boy, it was something. So they brought this up, and I said, here, give me this. I love this. So one reason I want to bring it up, because a lot of things we're sharing right now are deep stuff. And there's a lot of purity for that to be accepted into our being. So we're going to continue to purify. So remember laughter and remember just being together. So I want to say thank you, Wopida, and this holy heartfelt thank you. And I want to say thank you to Buddha. I want to say thank you to Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and then Mother Mary. I want to say thank you to the earth, and I want to say thank you to Great Spirit as we yield. One of the greatest allies is yielding. Developing flexibility in our strength. Warriors think we have to go through that. Like, raw. Sometimes you need to yield. So we're going to sing a song. And this is a song in English, too, that reminds us about the yielding and about the strength that rises up. So remember, these are the times the eagle and the condor are flying a new way with a new perspective. Remember the higher vibrations. Remember kindness. And take it easy on your partners too, when things get worked up, when you're with your spouses or your partners. We got to take it easy on ourselves. One of the speakers the other night and that was saying how horses because they have that respect and that leadership, they'll get worked up, and they'll all get in a little frenzy, and then they'll back right off, and then they go back to eating. They're all right. The wolves, they'll go at it too, and then they'll go up and lick each other. Forgiveness and community. So I'm going to sing a song. It's really easy, and I love it. And remind in this time of the sacred phoenix, as things burn away, the old things. Thank you, Great Spirit, for the grace. Thank you, Wakantanka, for this beautiful energy of grace. Thank you for the blessings upon our souls as we know ourselves as souls. Thank you for the blessings of our hearts, the gift of our hearts. Thank you for the gift of the present moment. Thank you for the gift of laughter and love. Thank you for the gift of these holy ones that come to us to remind us who we are as we humbly learn to listen in a good way, so we may bring right action into our walk, in this beauty walk. May our walk nurture the plants and the waters and the rivers. May it nurture ability to go into silence and hear your great spirit in this beautiful cave within the mountains or on this mountain where the holy ones have gone to listen to you. Not as high enough to not come back to the earth and do our walk like our brother Yukwala was sharing. To have that balanced walk on this earth. Great Spirit, you're so good to us. Thank you so much. As we swing the song and yielding the divine light. Oh yeah, 2 songs actually. Laramie, can you help me out with this one too? We're opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. And please join in. We're opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We're opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. Rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We're rising. We're rising. We're rising. We're rising. We're opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We're opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We're opening. We're opening. We're opening. We're opening. We're rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We're rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We're rising. We're rising. We're rising. We're rising. Oh, yeah. And thank you. It's a simple one. Oh yeah, another one. We're gonna sing the song. It's a little different than earlier, but I was saying the song to my daughter since she was little, and saying this one since my name is since the name there since the name that I walk with is Napezi Omani Shasha. We sing this song in our altars and ceremonies. Oh yeah, Yon Mashiach, Hey Mushishi, Yon Mashiach. Hey Mushishi, Yon Mashiach. Hey Mushishi, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah. Yahweh, Yah, Yon Mashiach, Hey Mushishi, Yon Mashiach, oh Hey Mushishi, Yon Mashiach, Hey Mushishi, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah. Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah, Yahweh, Yah. Thank you all. You're all beautiful leaders that love your souls. Taki Watson. Thank you, Jean.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Can you give me